Hi, my name is Mark Steelman, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Talent LMS. I'm reviewing Talent LMS because I'm taking a course at Appalachian State University in which they asked me to pick out an LMS that I was not familiar with and review it. I am a public school teacher. I teach middle school right now, and we are using Canvas. And they said don't use one you've used before. Find one you're not familiar with, learn about it, and do a review of it. So that's what we're doing. But hopefully you can get some information about Talent LMS from this video, and that it will help you identify if it's useful to you or not. Okay, so Talent LMS. Let's talk about what it is. What it is a cloud-based learning platform. It is what they would call an internal-facing LMS. I think it might be appropriate for me to just go briefly over what an LMS is. An LMS stands for Learning Management System. And what that does is it manages, like, you put your students in there, you put your instructors in there, you put your courses in there, you check people off for their courses. They can do your assignments are in there. People can turn their work into the LMS, and the grades will be in there. And then usually, like at our public school setting, the grades can be exported into another system. But this LMSs are used for educators and schools to just manage the workflow of having a school. Okay, so let's see here. I've got my slide here. Cloud-based learning management system designed for corporate training, compliance, and e-learning, and focuses on ease of use, automation, and integration. So Talent LMS is the kind of thing that you can rebrand it. Like you can put, if you were doing big tech computer company, you could say the big tech computer company training instead of Talent LMS training, and you could have a web page interface, and your employees go on and take stuff. See, in the school system, we have something like that. Every year, I have to recertify on lockdown drills and protocols if there was a school shooting, and first aid protocols and reporting protocols if you expect child abuse, or if you suspect, you know, um, some kind of psychiatric problem, like somebody might commit suicide or something. So we just have protocols like that we have to be recertified every year. So I go into this system and I recertify, and then it kind of checks me off as having been recertified, and that's stored because the school has to track that, right? So let's see. Again, one of the big differentiators for Talent LMS is that it has in something like Canvas, the schools are, I mean, the lessons are structured by classes. So like I have here's a slide I got for comparing Talent LMS to other ones. I'm comparing it to Canvas because I use it at the school I work at right now, and comparing it to Moodle because I've also used that because I work with CTE, and CTE uses a Moodle. But Canvas structures their class by class, and you put lessons in the class, and you have students in the class, and you can have multiple teachers teaching the class. But the class is kind of like a box that all this stuff is stored in. And Talent LMS is structured by lessons, or like modules, I guess is what you would call it. So, like, for example, you might have a teacher, like you have this one for teachers, perhaps, and you have one that says, okay, this one is for your lockdown drill training, and this one is for your bloodborne pathogen training, and this one, and we're going to link these all together, and we're going to call it the teacher certification program, right? And so, but all of it is structured by the module, whereas something like Canvas is structured by the class. Okay, because again, this is expecting this to be used in a corporate environment, what they would call an internal facing LMS. Moodle is more customizable, but you have to. There's no there's no service. Like Moodle is something you download from the internet and load onto a server in your work environment, and you do it from there. In other words, I'm trying to explain it's very like you have a lot of control, but you also have a lot of responsibility in the sense that you have to make sure that it's protected from hackers, and you have to make sure that it is up and running. And if something goes wrong, if you haven't gotten the updates unloaded, that's on you. Like Moodle is an open source solution that puts a lot of the responsibility on the organization. Whereas something like Talent LMS or even Canvas, as I was saying before, that is hosted remotely, and you can run your own. I know that you can run your own servers for Canvas, but they will also do it for you. Like they will make sure that the patches are in there, that you've got the latest version, that the operating system is in good condition, and all that kind of stuff. If it goes down, they put it back up. And so for a corporation, that's like super useful, right? They don't want to be dealing with all that. So let's see what else we got here. I've talked about who uses Talent LMS. All right, so talent, did I go backwards? I did go backwards. All right, so did that one already? Here we go. Key differentiators. Okay, I've talked about custom sequences for different learners. So because everything is structured by the module, you can use you could have one path set up for teachers, and you could have one path set up for principals, and you could have one path set up for janitorial staff, et cetera, and you would give them the ones that they need so that they can be properly certified. You're usually trying to be in some kind of compliance situation, and you're just trying to manage, have I got my people trained, right? But not everybody needs the same training, so you can sequence the different modules depending on who it is taking the training. Let's see. Okay, so built-in AI course creation. So I tried this out. I got the sample and I tried it out, or a sample account, and it works. I think it's just using like Claude or ChatGPT. It's not like they haven't started one from their own ground up kind of situation. They just have used one of the ones that have some kind of interface for they can customize it, and it will crank out I had to just crank out a course that I'm teaching right now, and it did it, and it put it all into like almost like a web page. If you've ever put together a web page, and you could click on different things in it, and I could actually go in and edit it. So I guess what I saw it do is it did create a course based on the things that I needed it to create one on, but I would not put that course out live because, without raw. I guess I think I wouldn't put it out raw. I would go in and I would go, well, I wouldn't explain it like that. And I would change something. And so it just kind of like roughs it in for you, almost like creating a draft. And then you would need to go back in and go, okay, well, this isn't going to work, or this isn't, clear enough. And so you would make changes. So but it does save you labor because it's kind of just laid it in for you. Like the best way I can describe it is it just kind of roughs it in for you. And I found that to be very useful. It has built-in gamification features. And by that, it has like leaderboards. It has badges that you can set up, that kind of stuff. So you can have people like to collect badges, which is just kind of like, you've completed a thing. Here's your little picture that says you completed it, and you have your name and you have all the things, kind of like a scout rank. If you know anything about scouts, you can have merit badges or whatever. Well, that's what the badges we're talking about here. It's like merit badges. They've completed this and they've completed that, and the person can kind of collect all these things. And another thing is you could probably even have certifications for like having gotten it done early or something like that, or badges for that. So another thing is they have like leaderboards, so you could have you can set it up to where if you know people tend to become very interested in leaderboards, so you could have like who's completed the most this week, you know, most of these modules this week. It depends on what you're trying to do, but you get the idea. You can set all that stuff up, and that's what they mean by gamification. It will also manage when people have to retake. In other words, you can set it up to where like this person has to take it every year. You can automate that, and it will like send them an email come next year and say, okay, it's time for you to take this training again. Click this link and take your training. So that's the kind of thing it does. Let's see. SCORM, it says here right quick before I move on, SCORM and API support. So SCORM is a module format that other programs can read, and you can export and import using SCORM. If you are already using something that has that is compatible with SCORM and that will take a SCORM file, that's why you'd want to know that. And then let's see. I think that everything else I've covered. I'm going the wrong way again. All right. Key differentiators: AI-powered course creation, AI-generated structure, course from a topic prompt. Oh, I already talked about this. And then, I thought it was cool. I've used AI some for different kind of lesson planning. And like I said, same thing when I try to do lesson planning, it'll spit out something. And I go, well, that's an interesting idea, but what you would really have to do is X, Y, and Z, and so I will just fix it. But it still speeds my work process up. I can get done faster and move on to something else. Let's see if I'll go the right direction this time. Ha. All right, key differentiators. I already talked about gamification. Let's see. Okay, so coming down to it, is TalentLMS a good fit for public schools? It does have easy setup. It does have AI assistant. I did like the AI assistants. I did like the idea of being able to have it be based on the module instead of because if we were trying to do something like there's this differentiation like initiative that people have in the public school system. We want to be able to customize things for specific students. And I think that this software would do that better than what we're using now. However, I don't know that it's compatible with like the grade reporting structure that we have right now. Like we have to go to the state and stuff like that. So I don't know that it's compatible with that. And I couldn't find any. They're not trying to be a target of public schools, so I don't know that they would be concerned with me saying that. But let's see. It doesn't really support any kind of curriculum. In other words, you can't just pull in your curriculum from the state and use that to set up your class. But again, it could be used in a school system to train the teachers and do that recertification type stuff that I was describing earlier. All right, so conclusion. TalentLMS is a strong choice for structured training and onboarding. AI and automation simplify content delivery but require human oversight, but not a direct replacement for education-focused LMS platforms like Canvas. That's my summary. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation and found it useful to you or whatever you're working on. And I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.